All right, welcome everyone to our virtual volunteer fair, which also doubles as our April TM Tuesday. We hope that you're excited to hear from our various presenters today. And we just have a few slides for some quick housekeeping things. First of all, welcome if you haven't been on anything with us before and have been welcomed to April, which is National Volunteer Month. I hope you have enjoyed seeing all of the National Volunteer Month features on the state program social media, and also a lot of features also on chapter social media accounts. It's been very exciting to see the different Meet This volunteers from each of the individual chapters. And of course, we're also doing that on the state level as well. If you are a chapter and you haven't seen your chapter highlight yet for those that picture with the 3 panels there, it's coming. They come out in alphabetical order. So they'll be going out throughout the whole month. So keep an eye out on the socials for those. But just thank you to our volunteers for all that you do. And I hope you've been enjoying the shout outs and socials. Just some quick general typical housekeeping things for this webinar. Videos are turned off. So you won't be able to turn on your video or to speak, but you can use the chat function. When using the chat function, please make sure that your questions are clear, not using any acronyms. Make sure you're selecting to chat to everyone so other people can see your question as well. And please keep any chats once we get into the presentations, please keep all of those on topic for the presentation so that we can stay organized while we're going through all of the different people. The agenda times, we're going to keep as close to those as possible. So this will go according to those times on the schedule that we'll be showing a little bit later. This event is being recorded and will be posted to our website on the TMN Tuesday page, as well as the Virtual Volunteer Fair page after this event, likely by this afternoon, if not by tomorrow at some point. So just keep an eye out for that. And feel free to come and go throughout the event or watch the recording as needed. All right, Michelle.
Okay, as we mentioned today already that this is a come and go event. So we have about 5 different project presentations that will be happening today. You can come and go based on your interests and availability. The recording will also be available afterwards for you to do the same thing for anyone who isn't able to join us today in person. What our presenters will be sharing with you today are some overviews of project descriptions, the virtual projects that we have in our lineup this year, project descriptions and overview, what the expectations and outcomes might be for those projects in the way of volunteer commitment, some additional training that may be needed, or skills that you might have needed to be brought to the project. There'll be some project logistics, times, people, places, when, where, things like that. Questions will be answered. Any experience, equipment, and advanced training that is needed. And then also the what's in it for you piece. So not only is your help needed on these projects, but as a result of being involved in a project of area of interest of yours, what are the benefits to you and how will you be helping as a Texas Master Naturalist on this project? And then also the who, what, when, where, and why, project location and contact information, kind of the follow-up and what to do next, where to go next for sharing your interest and connecting with the leaders of these projects. All of the information that is presented today through the virtual volunteer fair is on our Master Naturalist website under Naturalist News. We have a whole project description, a whole book of project description and information that will correspond to what's also being presented today as well. So information can be there, and I think, Hannah, you're going to drop that in the chat, right? Okay, thank you for doing that. So if that will always be there to refer back to if you have questions and need further information. The full catalog, as I mentioned, has each project listed with full contact information and all the information that the presenter submitted for the virtual volunteer fair. All of that is detailed in our catalog, as well as where project, what skills and interests are needed. A lot of the things that are going to be presented today in the overview of the project is also addressed in the catalog. The number one question we will get today is how, once I have found a project I'm interested in, and contributing my Texas Master Naturalist volunteer time towards, how do I get involved? And so the first item of business in getting your name on the list to volunteer is we will have a SurveyMonkey that we will be posting in the chat for each of the projects. There's one for all of the projects, and you would add your name to the item on the SurveyMonkey survey to be considered for that project. Add your name to the list as a potential volunteer for the project you're eligible for and interested in. The SurveyMonkey, important dates here, the SurveyMonkey will close Thursday, April 30th at 5 p.m. At that time, project hosts, it will be the responsibility of the project hosts, those people presenting today, to follow up with Master Naturalist volunteers on the list for any additional advanced training that is needed, next steps, and how to get started on the project. One thing to note that, or a few things to note, there are always more volunteers that sign up for a project than are what is needed to contribute to the project. So know that typically these events, our virtual volunteer fair, we typically have over 300 people in attendance live today, and many more view the projects and show interest in each of the projects that are presented. So in some cases, there may be only 30 people who are needed on some of the virtual projects. In some cases, there's as many as are interested can assist on some of the projects. So another note that not all projects are for all chapters and ecoregions. So there may be some projects today that are very specific and are looking for volunteers trained on some very specific items or very specific ecoregions, which therefore applies to only certain chapters. And those are things that'll be noted in the guide. And then lastly, another note, all projects will still need to be reviewed and approved at your local chapter level. So each of these projects, you would need to still be reviewed and approved at your local chapter level, vetting against the Texas Master Naturalist service project criteria that we have for chapters to review and approve. How do you log your hours today? So today is our TMN, our virtual volunteer fair is our April TMN Tuesday. We do have a quick VMS quick guide for the virtual volunteer fair today. We'll be dropping this link in the chat, but attending this event today is advanced training. You can log to the nearest quarter hour of advanced training for attending for the time that you attend today. And again, be mindful that you might be coming in and out. So just keep track of the information that you watch or are present for today and report accordingly. And then the second portion, because this is a volunteer fair, project fair, virtual volunteer project fair that we are presenting, the second part of this after viewing the projects or attending as an advanced training today, when you contribute your time to any of these projects, you would log hours as service time. We have another VMS quick guide for that that's been developed for projects revolving around virtual volunteer fair, and we'll be dropping that in the list, the chat as well. And again, it's should be reiterated that all projects will still need to be reviewed and approved at your local chapter level. As with all of our TMN Tuesdays and advanced training events, we ask that you help take a voluntary survey, help us to remain eligible for participation in offering these TMN Tuesdays and other advanced training events for you. If you would be so kind as to take this voluntary survey, and you can hover over the QR code there on the left-hand side of the picture. We'll also be dropping a link in the chat. So when you answer that, if you choose to answer it, just put the county that you're watching from. So it may ask for a county. If it does, just put the county you're watching from. And then rolling into our agenda today. So we've just been through the introduction piece of today's agenda. And as I mentioned, we have 5 projects that will be presented today. Our first one, starting at right now, 11:45, is Keep Texas Beautiful, Conservation Outreach for Texas with Corinne Hughes from Keep Texas Beautiful. So Corinne, we're gonna hand it over to you. And we'll get your presentation loaded up.
I just made you a presenter, Corinne, so you should be good to go.
Thanks.
I am here. Troubleshoot I guess my video actually doesn't matter. I am here though. Let me see.
Sorry, do you have a closure on your camera that maybe got slid?
A closure?
Yeah, like is there
Hmm.
a little bar that slid across the top of your camera?
No, I remember those being really popular. Okay, let me go ahead and start sharing now. Sharing my screen. I want to share this. No, stubby the share. I can do this. We practice. Okay, one sec. My Chrome tab. Okay.
There you go. We see your whole PowerPoint or your whole presentation.
Okay.
Sure, perfect.
No, I guess you can't see me, but there is a photo of me in this presentation, so I do exist. Sorry about my video. So hello. Should I go ahead and get started?
Yes, you're good to go.
Okay. Hello everyone. So my name is Corinne Hughes and I'm with Keep Texas Beautiful. I am the development and marketing manager here, and we are the statewide nonprofit that works with communities all across Texas through litter prevention, waste reduction, and community engagement. We have over 200 affiliates across the state. So just like Texas Master Naturalist has chapters, we have a number of affiliates that are always working with their local like Texas Master Naturalists, like trying to both be at like the same education events and have booths, or maybe they'll have Texas Master Naturalists in for, we also do beautification projects. So anything that has to do with like public gardens or plantings or sort of more like public park projects, public spaces. We're also in on that too. So we do have a relationship with Texas Master Naturalists. So we're super excited to reach out for volunteers. Let me go next. So our opportunity is about doing conservation outreach. And so this is an opportunity to really use your knowledge of Texas ecosystems and help create content that encourages that community pride and stewardship and engagement. I want to emphasize the whole time that we do have a lot of focus on litter and recycling, but you don't really have to have any knowledge or experience with these, specificities. We found that a lot of environmental messaging doesn't always connect back to these like specific ecosystems. And we think that's going to be really important to people. And that's something that's a gap in our like public education processes. Because we work across such a diverse state, we're constantly trying to create content that is both useful across Texas, but still grounded in all these very real places. We have affiliates, of course, that don't always have the time or capacity to create educational content. And so we try to develop stuff that they'll be able to share or they'll be able to use in their communities as well. And so the more affiliates that can kind of utilize these more broad educational approaches, that's a real success for us and for them. And that's where we're really going to value your perspective. And then the map here shows where all our affiliates are, and you can see they really are like in all the ecoregions. In terms of just thinking about, the outcomes and, why this matters, yes, Texas is ecologically diverse. And the affiliates need that shareable education and that kind of content. What we're really working toward is content that helps people better understand, ecosystems, waterways, and then their everyday actions. So we do try to put out some educational stuff that is about just native plants. And I'll give you more examples just here in a minute. Because it's not just what you're doing, like deciding to throw your trash in the trash can rather than litter. It's also becomes more sustainable as like a habit and a practice when you understand like why it matters and the context in the natural world. And so in terms of, logistics, we are looking at social media for this and creating content that could be, graphics, that could be collecting photography, taking photographs of your own. There's really a broad range here. We're looking for 1 to 2 volunteers, and the work is really flexible. And I'll get more into those details in a minute. Thinking about what our messaging might be, I wanted to show you all some examples that we've done in the past. And here we have, it's across the board where we're talking about just the flora and fauna. We're talking about gardening, indoor plants, and for like this Texas springtime color palettes, this one was really fun to do because we were hopping on a social media trend of, and I think this is still ongoing, where it's like the Pantone colorways are kind of put with an image, and so it's kind of like your color palette. And we did this for all the ecoregions of Texas, so it was a carousel. And so if an affiliate was in a particular, this one is Big Bend, all the affiliates that are kind of in the Big Bend country can use that graphic and just sort of, for their own usage. And so that's what I mean when we try to think about being specific while also being broad and then also being fun. Yeah. So in terms of, yes, so the logistics, we're thinking like 1 to 2 volunteers are going to be great. This is really fully virtual and you can work from anywhere in Texas. And as I was sort of listening to the intro on this day, thinking about, well, you're a Texas master naturalist, you're going to be in a certain area, probably have a certain chapter. That's not a problem at all. Creating work that's specific to your area, region, if that's a passion, we can work with that because we might not have that in our office right now. So your knowledge is so important to us and utilizing that. So, but it's also an opportunity where you could be doing research about other parts of Texas, and maybe about all these other parts of Texas, but locally you don't ever get to project that out. In terms of like what you'll need, computer and internet access and familiarity with social media. We use in-house the software Canva. It's great if you have a background doing any sort of graphic stuff, but Canva is really simple to use, and I'm really excited and happy to do any sort of onboarding around Canva. I've used it a lot. I've used it for we won't get into years, but I've used it quite a lot. The time allotment on this is we're looking around 4 posts per month, because we're thinking we'd love to get something out, every week. But it's really flexible, and I'm happy to sit down and work with anyone on, how to do this. If you want to do a series, this could also be something that we are developing for a different season. Like if you want to create a seasonal, series for the fall or the spring, we can totally make that work and save that content to go out later. We're looking at timeline of this is going to be summer focused. That's really going to work best for us. The summer months like June, July, August, maybe into September. But you are welcome to participate as long as interested and if it's working out for both parties. Of course, highly flexible. And yeah, we're just really excited about seeing your ideas for posts or series, but also really excited to help with any guidance. And we have some brand guidelines, but we have a lot of flexibility as well in how we do our communications overall. Oh yeah, so then I was talking about, that you'll need computer, internet familiarity, and then I can do some light onboarding. Really no specific background on this, so it's very open. Yeah, don't have too much more to say on this because I think I was getting into it with the project logistics. Let me just look through. Yeah, any sort of interest in, I mean, it's going to be helpful if you love doing graphic stuff. But that's also, like I said, can look like getting photographs together, or can it look like actually creating graphics? We have, as a nonprofit, access to the professional level of Canva, which might be really fun for a volunteer to explore. It gives you access to an unbelievable range of templates. Can start going into reels, but that's definitely not a priority. Thinking about the benefits on your side, of course, an opportunity to apply knowledge in a new way. We are across the state, so this is going to be, an opportunity for a large impact. We are planning, of course, whoever we work with to be, saving the metrics on these posts for you so that you can add it to, if it's important for your resume or things. This is a real portfolio opportunity for people. Everything you make, of course, it's like you created it, you own it, it's your contribution. There's opportunity for blog writing as well. We didn't really specify that, but that's definitely always an option, and we're always excited for anyone to contribute and to do a guest piece. And we could talk more about that. If any of this is sounding interesting, of course, I want to connect. We're definitely looking for people who enjoy communicating and connecting ideas. This is a different kind of communication just because of the diversity of our audience across the state. As I said, of course, it's a diversity of ecoregions, but it's also a diversity of people in terms of we're looking at very rural communities, as well as highly urbanized, looking at people of all ages. And it really is a fun to troubleshoot thinking about communicating with so many different types of people. Overall, though, feel free to reach out to me. I put my email on here, and then our social media handles. If you're ever interested in just sort of shooting the gab about social media or anything communications wise, it's really just about taking what you already know and helping even more people see why it matters. So I'm happy to answer any questions that people may have at this time. But that is my my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Corinne. My question that was in the chat has been answered. And I don't see any other questions that have come up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't say, like, Canva is free. It's not like you get kind of access to more stuff at a business level, but it is free, and I highly recommend anybody check it out because it's yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with. You start to feel like highly skilled at graphics in ways you didn't have access to before. But yeah, thank you, and looking
Thank you
forward
so
to hearing
much.
from anyone that's interested.
Okay. Thank you. We are going to, we're right at 11:59, so we're gonna move over to Kelly. And Hannah is going to introduce Kelly.
Yes. So as you can see, I just pulled the agenda back up, but our next presenter from 12 to 12:15 is Kelly Simon with Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, and she'll be talking about advancing wildlife conservation through volunteer-led knowledge gap analysis. So Kelly, I'll make you a presenter real quick, and then you can get started.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay. That's probably not how you want to see it. Is that showing my notes or is it showing the presenter view?
It's just the slide.
Fabulous.
Great.
Success all in one. So I just thank you very much. My name is Kelly Simon with Texas Parks and Wildlife as the Strategic Planning Coordinator and also the State Wildlife Action Plan Coordinator for the Wildlife Division. So just a very quick overview so you know whether this is a thing that you might want to be listening to. We're looking for Texas Master Naturalists in any part of the state. And we're looking to train via webinar, and then we can welcome as many volunteers as would like to participate. We have about 800 opportunities, so there probably is a little room for everybody if you'd like to join us. The minimum commitment is about 3 to 10 hours. That would cover your training and 1 or 2 species, but it could be as much as you would like. And so just beginning the regular presentation. So in our native fish and wildlife conservation programs at Texas Parks and Wildlife, we're working to conserve over 1,000 rare and declining species in Texas. But the biggest question that we face isn't just what's at risk, it's whether we know enough to act. Slide should change now. There we go. Because acting without enough information can waste our time and resources. But if we wait too long to act, that can mean that we miss an opportunity entirely. So the question that we're constantly trying to ask is, do we act now or do we still need more information to act efficiently? And it turns out that's not an easy call all the time. That decision is at the heart of what we call the State Wildlife Action Plan. So what is a State Wildlife Action Plan? Every state has one in the nation. It's required in order to access some federal funding that we use to conserve our native fish and wildlife species that are in the most peril. It helps us prioritize which species need help and what we need to do, and tells everybody what it is that we need to do to conserve them. Some species are ready for conservation right now. We know enough about them. We don't need to spend another dollar in research. Although research is always valuable, we have very, very limited conservation dollars to spend. So we need to spend the minimum amount in research in order to get the maximum amount of conservation benefit. And so that's where our knowledge gap analysis comes in. And that's the volunteer opportunity we're talking about today. A knowledge gap analysis is a way for us to make some big decisions. Do we focus on research now or conservation now? If key information is missing, we are able to prioritize the specific research that matters the most. Research that can help to get the conservation, research that can help the species get ready for conservation. And if we know enough, land managers then can move forward with conservation actions for those species. So whether it's Texas Parks and Wildlife or any of our partners across the state, if we have enough information to act, we want to make sure to highlight those species that are ready to go. So the knowledge gap analysis really is the backbone of our state wildlife action plan. It allows us to document progress toward conservation, clarify meaningful research needs. It helps us break an endless research cycle that we sometimes get into, and it efficiently allocates funding. In other words, it helps to tell us when it's time to stop studying a species and start actively helping it. And so that's why the knowledge gap analysis matters. It helps us to decide when to move from learning to action, but it also raises the question, how do we actually do that in a consistent science-based way? And so the answer is we developed a program by which we evaluate every species using the same framework. And we ask the same 7 questions for every species. And this is the knowledge gap analysis in a nutshell. We ask, do we understand who the species is, what the species is? Do we know where it occurs? Do we know what it needs to survive, both the individuals and populations of that species? Do we know how populations are doing? Do we know what threats they face? And do we know if it's even possible to take the actions needed to really help that species? So what's your role in this? Many species are in our state wildlife action plan because they've been ranked as rare and declining by us or by our partners, but we may not always have the specific information used in those rankings recorded in our state wildlife action plan. Over 600 species of our 1,176 species, they still need our help to have the KGA completed, the knowledge gap analysis completed, and recorded in our Texas State Wildlife Action Plan. So Texas Master Naturalist volunteers, you're already trained and familiar with biology, ecology, and wildlife management, and we can use your help to close the gap. We're asking you to review species information, rank what we know, enter information into the Texas SWAP workbench, and ultimately guide real conservation decisions. So let's see what that would look like with the species. So we're going to look at one of the species that's currently unassessed, Amelia's sand verbena. So this is what the information page looks like, the beginning of the information page looks like in the State Wildlife Action Plan. You can see that in the Texas SWAP in the information page that this plant is currently unassessed. If it was assessed, you'd see information in those little bubbles, little rankings in those bubbles. So you'll do a literature review using the tools and processes that we provide. You'll read those articles and then use them to evaluate the 7 criteria we mentioned earlier. And I can give you some training on reading these primary literature sources, but you can also use AI in a limited way if you'd like to use it to help you check your understanding of what the articles are saying. So you can use AI to help out with this. Then if you want to, you do not have to. Then you'll come back to the species information page and make sure you signed into the personalized partner account that we'll give you and click on the contribute information button. I think I highlighted it there. And you'll go to a partner contribution area that we call the State Wildlife Action Plan Workbench. Here, partners can add information on lots of different things, from habitat to locations, threats, and actions, but we're going to focus on the barriers here. So you can select the barriers to conservation, which is our knowledge gap analysis section. And of course, in the training we provide, we'll clarify exactly what we mean by each of the questions and the 1 through 5 rankings. But you'll select from a drop-down menu like this what the ranking information is. I don't know why it pulled in those dots, but that's curious. And then tell us how you justify or support your ranking. And you can write as much as you need here, and you'll include a justification that includes the literature that you used. Then when you're done, you can review your contribution, submit them, and then follow its progress as a biologist reviews the evaluation, asks questions, and provides a decision on adding it to our next update. Getting these KGAs complete is how we're going to make sure our conservation efforts are focused where they can make the biggest difference. You won't be doing this alone. Everything goes through review, and we provide guidance all along the way. We're not asking you to start from scratch or be the final authority on any species, but we just need some help. We're asking you to help us find relevant information, review it, and help rank our understanding across a key set of topics. Of course, I'm not just going to let you, but unless you're already a professional researcher, we know that you probably will need some guidance on how to do literature reviews. No problem. We can certainly train you on how to do that. You'll be working in an online system at your own pace. We'll assign you just a few species or even just 1 or 2 species at a time so it stays manageable. But with over 600 species still to assess, there is plenty of opportunity to contribute. And one last thing, we don't feel like you need to be a research scientist to do this well. You've already been trained in ecology, biology, and wildlife management as a master naturalist, and that's exactly what this work needs. We can show you how to use all the tools needed to get a great KGA in place. And of course, you'll be working with a biologist to get it finalized. Whether or not you're interested in doing the KGA, I welcome you to check out the Texas SWAP, the State Wildlife Action Plan, at the link txswap.org. You can use that QR code there in the center under right over Explore. But if this sounds like something you'd enjoy, I hope you sign up on the SurveyMonkey that's provided through the Master Naturalist. After I get your name, I'll ask you to go to the QR code on the right to tell me a little bit more information about you and your interests and your access. So with that, I'll go ahead and close. Wow, that went faster than I thought.
Yeah, you've got a couple minutes for questions.
Yeah. I think I saw a couple bubble up, but I couldn't catch them while I was talking.
There's one question in the chat. It says, will we be able to continue after this initial training?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So the cycle of the State Wildlife Action Plan is every 10 years we do a major update. And we just did our major update for what we call a comprehensive review for 2025. So the idea behind having this digitally is it's the first time we've had it available digitally, is that we would be able to have folks contribute as research happens. So it's a live plan. It's updated regularly because we can't just have it update live, but we can have it updating once a year to keep this information current. So I say all that to say this, yeah, absolutely. Nothing, you know that nature is never static. So as information becomes available, we hope people will continue to contribute throughout the life of the plan. And according to your with your chapter's cooperation or approval, you are welcome to do this for as long as you like, as long as you're interested.
There is a question that came in the chat, Kelly. Christine has asked if you could repeat what the QR code on the right is.
Yeah.
And then possibly, so the question, the second part of the question is possibly put the link in the chat, but I'm wondering if all the links are at the textswap.org.
You know what? Let me see if I can. So as soon as we get out of here, I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat. But I can't seem to access
while you're presenting.
While I'm presenting, yeah. I'm sorry. And in fact, now I can't get back. But I'm just going to trust that it's still there and where it's supposed to be. But the link on the right is the questionnaire that I'm asking for people to fill in. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that we would have. Of course, I should have known that. Michelle et al. Will have a SurveyMonkey link for you to sign up to, and that's the official link to sign up. Once you do that, I have a few other questions that I need to ask you, just some information about your interest and your availability and making sure you've got computer access and stuff like that. So it's just the little form that I'm using to keep track of that. The most important thing is to do the SurveyMonkey link that Michelle is putting out, and then I'll follow up with an email. It's going to have that form in it as well.
And then someone in the chat also asked, they said the KGA project sounds amazing. I work with biology college students at a nature center. Would it be possible to share the info with their professor at UTGV to see if they might be eligible to work on this as well?
Absolutely. In fact, as we were working through how the digital version of the swap would work, one of the things I had hoped was that students would be interested in helping us get these KGAs done, updating the data that's in there, and working however they want to do it. And in so doing, they'll be able to refine what their research interest might be in the future, and what conservation actually gets funded through Texas Parks and Wildlife. So I think it's a natural partnership. I'm glad to help, provide any additional information to other classes.
And could you reiterate, is there any actual field work involved?
No field work in this opportunity.
And the time frame for this project?
So we'll be working with our biologists to finalize our training. We've already got a training in place, but I need to finalize exactly how it works. So we'll get started in the next month. And then once we do the training, which should be in about 4 weeks, then you can work at your own pace at that point.
Okay. And then another person asked, can we pick the item or are they assigned? So if they have a special interest area or taxa, can they pick?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you have you know what, I'll add that to the form too, to see if you have a specific species or taxa that you want to focus on. So of course, everybody wants to work on the cool stuff, which everything in my estimation is pretty cool. But understand that the biggest needs are going to be in the species that we have the most of. So we have a lot of invertebrates and a lot of plants. We also have a few birds. We also have several mammals. Most of our fish are done, and most of our reptiles and amphibians are done.
And it's all taxa, correct? Not just plants and not just animals. It's all taxa.
Right.
Well,
and then not molds and fungi. Sorry.
Yeah. And then Beverly asks, if a TMN member is not able to sign up for this particular event, can a member sign up at any time to get the training virtually? So I think she's asking about this specific project. So
yeah. So I hadn't thought about that, but I can make it available. Sure. But if they could send me, through the recording here. Oh, you mean
when you do your other training?
When we do our other training, we'll record it and put, we have if you do a Google search for Texas State Wildlife Action Plan, Texas Parks and Wildlife, you'll get our jump page that starts at Texas Parks and Wildlife. And that usually has our current information on it. So as soon as I get a training or any other recorded presentations or anything like that, those go up on that splash page. So if you're super interested in doing it, but you're not really able to do it in community with this cohort, then you can certainly do it on your own that way.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Kelly, we do need to move on and keep on schedule. And so thank you. Lots of great questions. And if you're able to stay on and maybe answer some questions in the chat that come up. But for now, we need to move on to our next presenter. Casey Scheffer-Gieslin with the Texas Wildlife Association is presenting on identifying enrichment resources to accompany a youth magazine.
Just made you presenter, so you should be good to go.
All right, are y'all able to see the screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. There you go. Looks great.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry about that. We're having some connection issues. So, all right, well, again, thank y'all so much. My name is Cassie Shefford-Eastland. I'm with the Texas Wildlife Association. I'm presenting to you today about our Critter Connections Youth Magazine, but then also we have Amber Brown with us as well, and she will do a follow-up presentation also about our Critter Connections magazine. So we're tag teaming this a little bit. Before we get started, just real quick, the Texas Wildlife Association, we are a nonprofit statewide organization. We are membership based as well. And so we are all about advocacy for private landowner rights, hunting heritage, but then also the education of natural resources to both youth and adults. So that's where we'll end up today, is talking to you about one of our youth education programs called Critter Connections, and identifying enrichment resources to accompany that and where we could use y'all's help. And so with that, our Critter Connections is our youth magazine. I'll have a little bit more information on our next slide. And this last year, we sent out more than 400,000 copies to students statewide. And so with this, the resource itself is great. It is both science and reading based. But then more recently, we have created an online page to make it even more cross-curricular. And so we need help finding activities for past issues. And so where you all come in as volunteers is you'd be adding value to the science content, but again, trying to make it where we're aligning to other things like social studies or economics or geography, just to make it a little bit more complementary to everything that they're learning in the classroom. So to give you a visual of Critter Connection, this is one of our issues here. So like I said, it pairs both science, Texas-based science, and reading. We've been creating this resource for 20 years now and have over 80 issues that we have printed. It is award-winning. We print it quarterly, so 2 times a semester, and it's targeted for ages 13 and under. And so typically what we do is we highlight either an ecoregion or a species. So right now we're actually finishing out our ecoregion series. So you can see this one here was on the High Plains ecoregion. We also include something about a plant. There's activities, crafts, and stewardship prompts for the students. So this just gives you a little bit of a sneak peek of what the main article looks like, as well as different sections of our magazine. And so this, I mentioned, is available in print. We printed, again, more than 400,000 copies this last year, and it's free. Like most of our education programs, it is available for free, no cost. And so how to get it is either you could subscribe for a class set of 25. We have hundreds of teachers that have subscribed for class sets up to 8. Or you can sign up as a household subscription. And even that, we have it where if you have 4 kiddos at home, you can get 4 individual copies shipped to your home. So that's just a little bit about Critter Connections, the magazine itself. But again, now really the project here is how to take it and align it with other resources. And so again, how to enrich or enhance the copy. So when you go to our website, you'll actually find our library of past issues. So that slide there on the left, you can see that we have past issues dating back to 2018 online. And actually, when you go online, you can read the magazine there too. You can grab a copy of the PDF. But then you can also see that starting with our Blackland Prairie ecoregion back in 2024, we started creating these enrichment pages. So anything before fall of 24 does not have an enrichment page. So again, you can see that we have many years that don't have enrichment pages that are online currently. But when you go to one of our more recent pages, you can see that you can read the magazine, or if you click that enrichment button, it will take you to our enrichment page. And so this next page here is actually what our enrichment page looks like. So when you get to the top of that, you'll actually see other TWA lessons or programs that align with that issue. So we have distance learning programs, we have lessons that we've linked. But where we come into play here with our external resources is really wanting to align this particular issue. So whether it is on foxes or whether it's on a certain ecoregion, we're wanting to align and bring to the teacher's attention other resources that can really further engage their students. And so that's where we're looking for volunteers that we're looking for either your Google skills or your knowledge in other free resources that we could promote and add to our enrichment page. So each page looks very similar. Up at the top, there's different ways that they can sort. So you can see all of the activities, or we now have activities, activity pages, info, maps, and videos. So they can click on one of those and see a little bit shorter menu of options for them. We also then, along with other external resources, if there's any way that we can align that content to other subjects, such as reading, economics, geography, or social studies, we have a separate section for those as well. So again, for you all as volunteers, if you know of great resources, or we had one resource we found, which was different bingo cards for different ecoregions, that would be a perfect example of something that we would like to make here available for the teacher, and that allows them to, again, further use the resource in their classroom, but they don't have to spend the time searching for it. So as far as the logistics of our project, again, we're looking for volunteers to find activities similar to those on our enrichment pages. We said 1 to 2 volunteers, but honestly, we have about 28 issues online that do not have enrichment resources currently. So the more volunteers, the better. It is something that obviously you can do remote. Really, internet access is really the only requirement we have. And again, we're very flexible with your schedule. Future enrichment pages will go online with each issue. So we will have quarterly deadlines for those. But again, we're absolutely ready and available and capable to figure those out here in our office. But as far as those 28 past issues, we're looking to add those resources online at any time. And so when it comes to those enrichment pages, I looked on our website, and sometimes it ranges anywhere from 11 to 23 resources per page. So there is no set number or minimum or maximum of how many different resources we can connect with each issue. And how we'll gather that information from you, we'll put your findings together on a Google spreadsheet that you would have access to. So it'd be something just as simple as providing us maybe what issue it aligns to, but then also a link to that resource and where the resource came from. And of course, we would be here available for check-ins periodically throughout the project. But again, this project can last as long as it's needed until it's complete. So we really don't have a true deadline for the project. And I think I've covered most of this as well. So again, internet access, Google searching is great. We do need links to be able to link it to the other enrichment activities. And then your ability to locate different youth activities, preferably that are free, that align with our content. Awareness of free education sources might be helpful, but quite honestly, that's where we start too, is we start Googling for example, prairie dog art projects or prairie dog activities or prairie dog coloring sheets. And then again, you would just need access to our Google Drive, which we would provide you directly. And so we don't think that any advanced training is needed on your part. And so again, the benefits to you, again, it would help us make this resource more cross-curricular. It's very based on natural resources and conservation, but we'd love to make it more beneficial for the teachers to use in their classroom. And so really you'd be adding value to an already great content. Again, hopefully bringing in social studies or more reading content, but also hopefully too, you might just have fun finding all the different activities are out there. I know we get excited when we find a new activity such as those bingo cards. And again, knowing that you would be a part of enhancing a curriculum or a program that has, again, 400,000 issues were put out there last year. So again, I think just the feel good of knowing that you're enhancing this great resource. And so again, the project contact information, so there's my contact information there, Cassie Sheffer-Giesland, but admittedly, Amber Brown is our conservation education specialist, and Critter Connections is her project. She's the creator and developer of it. So as far as more questions that you would say, reach out to either one of us, of course, but Amber, she is the Critter Connections, again, creator for that. And of course, too, for any information about Critter Connections or any of our other youth education programs, I have our website listed there as well. And then the last thing too, I'll say, of course, we of course are looking for volunteers to help us, but if you know of just one-off resources, again, bingo cards or something else that you think we might benefit from, feel free to send us an email too. We'd absolutely appreciate it. And I think with that, I'm wrapped up. So if y'all have any questions, happy to answer them for you.
Hey, Cassie, there is one question in the chat, and if it needs to be reiterated or hasn't been addressed, The question is, are these resources aligned to TEKS for different grade levels?
Great question. So overall, they are aligned to TEKS, but admittedly too, we're finding this as a supplemental resource. So it should be supplementing what they're currently teaching in the classroom. So I think overall TEKS alignment would more so fall with the organisms and environment TEKS in grades probably K through 5. We have not done a very specific alignment just because it is meant for kids at different reading levels. And so there's certain vocabulary that we cannot touch on per se, or that might be a little bit too far above the reading level. But absolutely, reading any of these, any issue, you will see science TEKS alignment.
I don't see any other questions regarding this part of the presentation. Oh, I'm sorry. One came in. How do you deal with different age groups?
That is a great question. So as we've tried to make it about a 5th grade reading level, but again, as I mentioned, vocabulary and whatnot comes into play, but also their ability to read. So we found this is a great resource that engages families as well too, or again, teachers during reading time. So, right now it is one resource that we try to hit all grade levels. So for older students, it might be more of a reinforcement activity, but it is right now at least a resource that is trying to all encompass being science-based and bring them the appropriate information more at a 5th grade level.
Okay.
Thank you.
Katie, wanna do the next introduction?
Yes. So next, as mentioned, we have Amber Brown, also with the Texas Wildlife Association, and she'll be presenting on sourcing media to accompany Youth Magazine. So Amber, I'm going to make you a presenter real quick, and then you should be good to go.
Are y'all seeing that in presenter view or the slide?
Presenter view yet, but we are seeing the slides.
You are seeing the slides?
It's
Yes,
the
just
whole
not in presenter
PowerPoint
mode.
program. Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
We see your whole PowerPoint program open,
Okay.
not just the slide view.
Give me one moment here to try to fix that. I'm sorry, guys.
There you go.
Okay.
That's great.
Awesome. Alrighty, so thank y'all so much for taking time out y'all's afternoon to be here. My name is Amber Brown. I'm a conservation education specialist with Texas Wildlife Association. And we have on the line here today as well, Cassie Shepard-Giesland. She is our Director of Youth Education for Texas Wildlife Association. And as y'all learned a little bit about Critter Connections and the organization from her presentation, I'm just going to reiterate a little bit. So Texas Wildlife Association is a nonprofit membership-based organization that is statewide. We were founded in 1985, and we have 3 distinct pillars: issues and advocacy, hunting heritage, and conservation legacy, which is where I'm housed out of. That's what our education programs come from. That's what this project falls under as well. So again, thank you all so much for taking time to be here today. Alrighty, so a little bit more about this project, sourcing media to accompany Youth Magazine. If you're not aware, Texas Wildlife Association does have a youth magazine called Critter Connections. It is currently available via hard copy through subscription. And this past year alone, we printed over 400,000 copies. So this program is doing really great. It's continuing to grow, and we're looking to grow beyond our print capacity. So looking to the future, we're looking at a digital platform that will allow us to facilitate this growth and be able to reach even more youth through this program. But in doing so, we need some help. We need y'all's help sourcing media for some upcoming issues and the future digital platform. In doing so, y'all be adding value to this resource that enhances the content for our readers. So again, going to touch on some of the same things that Cassie touched on previously. So with Critter Connections, again, it's Texas Wildlife Association's award-winning educational quarterly youth mini magazine. We print it 4 times a year in line with the school year. So February, April, September, and November. And I have an example here on the screen for y'all. This is our winter 2025 Piney Woods Ecoregion issue. As you can see, each issue covers features a specific species, or in this case, an ecoregion, as well as a related plant article, different activities, crafts, fun facts, puzzles, and stewardship actions geared towards youth. All this is targeted for ages 13 and younger, like Cassie said, about a 5th grade reading level. And the best part about this is that all youth educators, both formal and informal, all Texas youth, and parents are eligible for a free year-long subscription. So you can go onto our website, sign up for either some class sets of 25 or a household subscription. It gets mailed to you for free each quarter, no strings attached. As I said before, Critter Connections is currently available via hard copy, which you see a few photos on the screen here. Again, you can get it in individual copies or in those sets. We've seen this utilized in homeschools, formal education, in camps, scout troops. The list goes on and on. The use for this program is pretty limitless. We do currently also upload our past issues to our online archive, our digital library that can be found on our website. And then looking to the future, we are wanting to build out a digital platform. So what this entails is 2 different phases. Phase 1, we're going to have Critter Connections enhancement. So what we're envisioning is an educator or a student getting onto the website, being able to read through Critter Connections, but when they go to click on a photo, you can see a video of the animal, or you can see a video of the adaptation in action. You can hear the bird call, you can hear the call the mammal makes, wherever the case may be. We're also looking at ways to make the other aspects like the activities and the puzzles and the just general content more engaging for the readers as well. Phase 2 of this digital program involves getting a complimentary field guide for youth onto this online as well. So with that, just like any other field guide, it's going to have information about the different species, the photos, the videos, the calls, and we expect this to be a really great resource, not only for the classroom and for homeschool situations, for camps, for scouts, but also for a resource for research for students, in addition to just a resource for kiddos at home who want to know a little bit more about the world around them. So as you can tell, this project is pretty large and has a lot of different moving parts. So with this, we do have a 3-pronged approach. We have our current Critter Connection needs for the hard copy issues. We have our future Critter Connection enhancement needs for that digital platform, and then our future field guide needs as well. So what this means as volunteers, we need help finding media. For our hard copies, we need help finding photos that we can utilize to include in the hard copy issues. And then looking forward to that digital platform, we need help finding media like photos, videos, audio to enhance Critter Connections, but to also help build out that online field guide. We do have the volunteers listed as 1 to 2 currently, but that plus sign is really important here. Like I said, this is a really big project. It's ongoing. And so we're open to accepting more volunteers than just that 1 to 2. The time commitment just depends on how much time you have and would like to donate to this project. And there's a few different ways you can help us out. So when I say sourcing media, what we have been doing currently with Critter Connections is going online and kind of scouring the internet and looking for free media to utilize in these issues of Critter Connections. But if you yourself are a wildlife photographer or you know somebody that's a wildlife photographer, please feel free to reach out. And if you're interested in allowing us to utilize your resources for this magazine. This can be accomplished anywhere as long as you have a device that can connect to the internet. The location is remote. As far as time frame goes, we are very flexible with this one. Again, it's a very large project, it's ongoing, and the work can be completed on your schedule. With that being said, the hard copies are published quarterly, like I mentioned before, in line with the school year. So we are going to have quarterly deadlines for the photos for those. But the media for the future digital platform, again, those enhancements in the field guide, those can be added online at any time. We'll be able to share media through the TWA created Google Drive folder that we'll share with y'all. We'll have some folders in there for you to drag and drop files, as well as a form to fill out some information with each resource that you've located, just so we know how to credit and where to find it in the future. And of course, TWA staff will be available for any questions and to check on progress periodically. Whatever you need, we're here for. As far as the experience, equipment, advanced training goes, again, as long as you have a device that can connect to the internet, that's really the only equipment you need. Otherwise, just the ability to locate media that align with the magazine content and the ability to access the TWA created Google Drive. Those are the two biggest things. It is helpful if you do have an awareness of media sources, specifically free media sources, as well as Creative Commons licensing, although that's not required. I do say free specifically because we do try to source free media for this magazine. And in doing so, we find a lot within the Creative Commons. If you don't have awareness of that, that's no problem. I'm more than happy to share with y'all what I know. Otherwise, we will provide the species list as well as what type of media is needed for each species, in addition to any media guidelines if they apply. So if we're looking for a certain photo orientation or a file size, I'll include that as well. As far as advanced training goes, there's none needed. And similar to what Cassie said, how this benefits y'all. How it benefits TWA and y'all. So this helps TWA. As you know, our youth education programs do focus on natural resources, conservation, and private land stewardship. And we try to offer that in a very fun and exciting and engaging way. And this will help us continue to do so. We're also looking to grow awareness of the importance of natural resource education by providing these resources for free to local educators. Through y'all's work with helping us source this media, you're helping us continue to do this. You're helping us continue to enhance and then continue to enrich the resources that we have. We're going to continue with printing Critter Connections, but creating this digital platform and having the resources available to do so when it comes to the media is really going to help us take that and elevate it to the next level. And I will say it's a lot of fun to do this too. Sitting down and trying to find the correct or the right photos that fit with the magazine content is like a big puzzle, right? So you're trying to find a certain species and a file size with a photo orientation and the Creative Commons licensing, and you get really excited when you find just the perfect image that really captures what that specific species is. And again, your work source in this media will help us continue to reach students and Texas youth through this publication, which last year was over 400,000 copies alone. Same project contact information as Cassie. I'll be the primary point of contact for this project, but please feel free to reach out to Cassie as well if interested. And I do have our website there, as well as email and phone numbers. And before we dive into questions, I just want to say thank you all so much for taking time out of your schedule once again to be here to learn more about Texas Wildlife Association and our programs on this project that we have. I really do appreciate getting the chance to visit with y'all today and look forward to working alongside you. Do we have any questions?
We do. Amber, I want to, there's a couple of comments in the chat asking about whether or not your organization has access or utilizes iNaturalist. People are mentioning that in connection with some of the media that could be used available with this, but I want to encourage you to, as an organization, research that for yourselves first, because that may not be accessible. There may be some agreements you need to develop with iNaturalist in order to be able to use that, if it's even available. So the secondary question that follows up with that is, how do you deal with copyright issues?
So the copyright issues, that is a great question. We work primarily within the Creative Commons. Our first thing we look for is open domain. So that's photos that have been released for public use. And you don't have to credit on those. We do, just because I'm a firm believer in providing credit where credit's due. Otherwise, we go through the different stages of Creative Commons licensing. So there's some where you're able to share and you can build upon it and adapt and remix. There's some where you can do that, but it's non-commercial. It's a whole lot of interesting stages within those Creative Commons. we just start with public domain and work our way down the Creative Commons list from there. And if there's, a point of contact for that photo that is, if they have that they prefer to be contacted before photos used, we reach out to them that way to secure permission through there too.
Thank you for addressing those. And then just leaving the note with you to check on the copyright issues or a policy with iNaturalist for you to connect with iNaturalist on possible use there, or research that further. There are a couple questions regarding usability of the resources beyond the project. So one person has asked if there is a subscription available to local libraries for them to stock in their libraries of the magazine.
Yes, absolutely. Libraries can sign up. We would love to have this resource in local libraries. We do have them going to a few currently, just thinking through our subscription list. But yeah, absolutely. Libraries can go onto our website and either sign up for those individual copies or for a class set if they're interested to get that into their resources.
Okay. And then another person asked about Critter Connections and if it would be available to nature centers.
Yes, as well. Same thing. Can just go online and sign up through the subscription form. And we're happy to see this resource get utilized.
Okay. We are at time. We do need to move on to our next presenter. And Hannah, you want to introduce Megan?
Sure, yes. So our final presenter for the day is Megan Clayton with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, and she will be presenting on toxic plants of Texas Picture Roundup. So, Megan, I'll make you a presenter real quick, and then you'll be good to go.
Fantastic.
All right, you should have the ability to share.
Okay, let me pull that up real quick. Great. Okay, well, thanks for having me on today. I'm super excited to talk to all of you about a project I've been working on with some fantastic people. But first of all, I'm Megan Clayton. I'm a professor and rangeland specialist with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. I just browsed through the participant line and I noticed a lot of names that are very familiar. So you may know me from Plant Party, which is probably why I know many of your names, or from range trainings, but it's so fantastic to be here with you today. So similar to Plant Party, but slightly different topic. I am still nerding out on plants, but today I'm talking to you about a toxic plant book. Let me see if I can get that to come in. No, okay. The Toxic Plants of Texas is a spiral bound book that is incredibly popular in Texas. This is the go-to resource for any plants that may be toxic to our livestock species. So this is one of those opportunities where natural resources meets agriculture directly. I have the great privilege of being kind of the bottom rung person who's putting together this book with some amazing co-authors, working with some of the top toxicologists in the US on updating this book. In addition to the livestock species that have already been included, we're adding chickens in. So poultry will be included because poultry and pastured poultry has become a big thing. And it's very important for people to understand what plants may be toxic to their poultry friends as well. We have some hiccups, and that is that we don't have some of the pictures that we would like. And as you can imagine, when something happens and livestock are rapidly sick or more likely dying, it is very imperative that we're able to identify any toxic plants that are on that property as soon as possible. This book has done that in the past because it provides pictures of different up-close plant parts of that plant in possible question, so we can get a correct ID very quickly before having to mail out a sample or have a specialist go to that location. So pictures are key for toxic plant or poisonous plant episodes. We have a very specific list that the toxicologists working on this project have asked for. And here's just a glimpse of the top part. I want to say there's 27 different plants on the list. And there's even sometimes some very specific places, like the entire plant and up close of the flower. And we are in the prime time for starting to take pictures of these plants. Additionally, we're going to need specific plants growing in the wild. So it may be that you have past pictures that may work just well. They don't have to be new ones taken this year. It also might be that you have an iNaturalist account where you've logged some of these pictures in the past. We work for Texas A&M, and so our copyright rules are very strict and getting stricter, it feels like, by the day. So I know that we are going to need your picture. If your friend has a picture, then we're going to need their permission to use that picture. The wonderful news is that we'll be able to cite you as the author of that picture. So your name will appear somewhere in this booklet. However, we decide to put either a number that's referenced in the back or your name directly on that page. So you'll be given credit. In addition to, I'd like to put a statement in there thanking the Texas Master Naturalist program as a whole and for their contributions to the book, because y'all do so many amazing things for us. And all of your different chapters are really working hard to make every facet of natural resources and agriculture better in Texas. So that's simply it. What will happen is, if you agree to be a victim for this project and allow us to use you to collect pictures or to find pictures that maybe you have already collected, we'll ask that they be a decent pixel size, because obviously we want them to look nice in the book. But honestly, most iPhones today take very nice pictures that would be acceptable. We will send a spreadsheet to everyone who signs up through the SurveyMonkey link. We're going to send you a spreadsheet that has the scientific name, the common name you likely know this plant by, where it typically occurs in the state, just to kind of help you out, and then what exact picture parts we're looking for. So all of that will be there. You would be able to email me back with what specific plants you would like to tackle, or you could look into your files and send me the pictures of what plants you already have. It may seem like asking for pictures, like some of the others have done, is a very minor role, but truthfully, I know in the case of this book, it will mean everything for being able to get a diagnosis out to people in a timely fashion. So we are excited about being able to offer this opportunity to Texas Master Naturalists and partnering on getting a new update of this book that has not been updated since 2000 back into the hands of everyone who works on agricultural lands in Texas. And I think with that, I'll take questions. Obviously, what's in it for you? You're helping our extension unit to create a very used resource. Also, you're going to get credit, not only for you personally, but for the Texas Master Naturalist program. And of course, you're going to be helping out a lot of people who face challenges, who are trying to do more with less. A lot of times people are running livestock on smaller properties. They may be newer landowners, or even for those who use native plants more and more in their landscapes around their home. It's very important to understand if there's any toxicity issues for those plants that they're utilizing. I personally myself, after living in the same house for 3 years, just dug a lantana out of my cat's pen. I had not noticed that it was there, but it's finally to a size that's noticeable. And so I immediately removed that because I know lantana is toxic to cats, though this actual book is specific to livestock species. A lot of the ones that are toxic to livestock are obviously also toxic to our domestic friends. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions, and I'm looking forward to getting my list of people who sign up so that I can follow up with you with our spreadsheet of our needs and see how you might be able to be plugged in.
So Megan, we have a discovery in the chat that you're not yet on our Survey Monkey, but we will get you there.
Doing it
Shocking.
as we
Okay.
And get
speak,
that
so give
added.
me like 5 minutes
I will
and then you'll be on
stall
there.
while Hannah makes me a Survey Monkey link because I super want y'all to be able to sign up. And I'd love to follow up with you afterwards rather than you contacting me directly because they have that nailed down to an art, their system of getting your volunteers to me.
We do have a couple questions for you in the
Okay.
chat. And so one of them is, what format would you want the photographs in?
Okay, so they could be either PNG or they could be JPEG. Whatever works for you, we can make that work. This booklet was published by what used to be called the Texas Agricultural Extension Service. So obviously we've changed names several times since the publication happened, but they're very flexible on format as long as it is of good quality.
Okay. And are there pixel image sizes that you're looking for specifically? I know you
So
said
I
any
don't
format, but typically for print, they need to be a certain size and
That's right. They do. And I don't have the exact size minimum. But if you could, if you're going to take new pictures, a very easy process just to go in there and make sure that you've set up your phone to the highest maximum resolution. And like I said, in most cases, I know I have a digital camera that is not as good as the iPhone camera is now. So most of your better cell phones are probably going to take good pictures. But just make sure you change that setting to the higher resolution setting, higher quality.
And you'll have a shot list that you're getting ready, right? And whoever signs up
Absolutely.
for the project they could pick from that shot list.
Absolutely. I already have it ready. I just don't want to overwhelm you with all the details, but you'll be provided that and you could go through there and highlight or whatever you want to do, which ones you feel like you have or you could get. No pressure to do many of them, but we do want to get these kind of nailed down before the summer. And so it'd be nice if we could take our pictures through the summer and be done with this project. So it's a fairly short-term turnaround. That's why I
That
say
was the
if
other
you have
question is
past
timeline.
yeah, if you've got past pictures, that'd be even faster. But if you need to go out and take them, I'm noticing that everything's starting to kind of spring to life right now. You could tell from my allergies that everything is blooming. So maybe a great chance to catch some of these. Oh, good job, Hannah. They say that you did it.
Yep.
We now have a link. We will be sending the pictures either by email or you're welcome to Dropbox them to me, whatever's easiest on your end. If you have a ton and you'd like for me to send you a jump drive, I absolutely could do that too. I could shoot that to you in the mail.
So always getting it done, always.
Anyhow I can help you. Beverly asked about when the book would be published. I'm not sure. I'm hoping by the end of the year that we can get this completed. But truthfully, one of our biggest hurdles has been finding better pictures. So some of these pictures, it's not that we don't have one in the book, it's that it's not a very high quality, just given that the last publication was now 26 years ago.
Okay, I don't see any other questions at this time. All right. Other than thank yous. Thank you, Megan.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me on. And thank you, everybody, for what you do with Texas Master Naturalist.
Okay, and then I just a minute or two early, but Hannah, you want to take us home?
Yeah. So thank you everyone for being here today. I'm sure you've all seen the survey link in the chat. And I saw a couple of questions come up at the end there. It is the same survey link for all of the projects. You'll see them all listed on there. And you can just click the box saying, I want to participate in this one for whichever ones you are interested in participating in. So just putting that up there for now. Just a reminder of what those projects are. And again, if you go to that virtual volunteer fair page on our Naturalist News page. That will have the catalog for all of these, the survey link, and how to report hours. All that additional information is on that. It's also somewhere in the chat. I'll drop it in again before we end this off. But if you go to our Naturalist News page, scroll down, I think it's like scroll down like 5 posts, you'll see it right there, and you can find all the information that you need there. But thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions that aren't answered on that Naturalist News blog post, feel free to email one of us and we'll get that information over to you. But again, just thank you for participating, and the recording from today will be added to the website either later today, and if not by then, at least sometime tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Tell anyone who didn't make it today or who can only come and go when you see it go live, and we're excited to have you. Excited to see you volunteer with all these really cool projects that were presented today. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll see y'all for our next events.
Thanks, everyone.